Peace. What's happening, good people? This gift here for Pay Us No Mind. And I wanted to talk about something that's like really been grinding my gears lately, man. And that is content that I've seen on the internet around how artists don't need talent to make it, right? Where it's just like hard work. All you got to do is work hard. And that to me is like sucker logic, you know? Because the reality of the situation is you should want to be good, right? Like you should want to have talent in a talent-based business. But by and large, outside of that, everything becomes easier when you have talent because everybody wants to work with talent. It's a creative business. It's creatives, and creators want to work with other talented creators because you create the best art when you do that. And that's what it's about for the artist. It's making amazing art. It's making stuff that people look at in awe and be like, oh my God, that's amazing. And that is something that gets done when you work with talented people. So when somebody, like I put it like this, right? Somebody with an amazing voice, they can go sing in the subway, they can go sing on the street, and you will have management open up to them. You will have record deal opportunities open up to them. You will have a whole bunch of stuff, producers that want to work with them, all sorts of stuff will just get thrown at them, you know? And what it would come down to is more so discernment, picking the right people to work with, right? Picking the right manager, picking the right producer, picking the right label or whatever to sign with, you know? And a lot of times people pick wrong. They pick the wrong management, they pick the wrong label. And then outside of that, you also just have like the psychological stuff that goes on with creatives because creatives take in a lot of stuff in order to spit back out into their creations. So really sensitive, right? And where other people just kind of like ignore a lot of the crazy stuff that goes on in society and life and just go to work and do what they do and come home and watch the game. Creatives are just absorbing all of that. And they're like, oh my God, the world, oh, environment is collapsing, all of this other stuff, oh, the way people are treating people, and that can make people crazy. So mental health issues and stuff like that, those are the things that kind of like pull a lot of artists down. But talent, dude, Whitney Houston, you know what I'm saying? All of these different artists, it's like when people have talent, that is like a rocket ship off to the sky. So when people start talking about how you don't need talent, I mean, even in a sense of people try to say don't have talent, they have talent in other areas that aren't necessarily talent in music. So you got people who aren't the best singers, but they look great. And in modeling, that's considered talent. Your look is considered talent. Fashion, you could dress nice. That is a talent in fashion, right? So it's like personality. Somebody got a great personality. In TV and that type of media, that is talent. So it's like everybody has some form of talent. You know, it's not talentless people making it just because they keep trying. It's a talent-based business. Even people have talent in business, right? People talented marketers, people talented strategists. It's all a form of talent. So for anybody out there that's just like, okay, well, I'm expecting to become successful by just doing the same thing over and over and over again and never giving up. It's like, yo, dude, I don't know, not to discourage people, but at the same time, it's like, yo, man, you know, it's a crowded space and everybody can't do it. And what we have right now within this music industry are people who are effectively reliant on everybody believing that it's something that they can do. So you got marketing companies, you got digital distributors, you got all of these different players that know that artists don't have a lot of money to spend. So they're coming in and they're pricing stuff really cheaply. And they need a lot of people to use it because that's how they're going to make money. So they need for everybody to believe that it's something that they can do and to continue to believe that it's something that they can do. So they say, hey, you don't need talent because, hey, how many people, there's way more people that don't have talent that can say to themselves, if I work hard, I can make it than there are people with talent. So now you open up your consumer base, right? Your client base expands with that. So that's where a lot of like all of these people coming in to the creative space and hanging around and dragging things down, that's where it's coming from. All of these people that are just like, you could do it, you could do it, you could do it, you could do it. Who you don't need to be good, right? All you got to do is just keep doing this. And then what they start doing is trying to make it simpler for more people to do it that aren't even artists to a great effect. So it's like I look at digital distributors and I see things like a cover art generator. To me, that again is like sucker shit. It's like, yo, dude, you got no vision for your music. Like you, when you listen to your song, you don't see anything. Like, dude, what are we doing? You know, like you should have a vision for your art. That's what's going to allow you to succeed. So artists got no cover art, you know, some of this stuff, like we're barreling towards a situation where the digital distributors will be like, hey, come in, click this button and generate a song and distribute it to the streaming platforms. And nobody has to write. Nobody has to sing. Nobody has to do anything. All you need to do is have the desire to be in the music business. And if you're willing to pay $20 a year for unlimited distribution, you can just go in, click buttons, generate songs, distribute them, and make the crumbs that you get from streaming. But hey, it's all profit to you because it's like, well, this isn't really something that I'm trying to do. No way, I'm just having fun, right? So I see a huge problem in the way that they're operating. And we worked really hard to eliminate gatekeepers, right? The people who restricted access to certain stuff. But we're coming to a point where we might need gatekeepers to save this whole thing because it's just too much garbage out there and too many people that won't stop, you know, despite the fact that the listeners are telling them no. So if somebody advertises a song and that song gets exposed to thousands of people and those people don't respond, they've said no. They've said no. But then that person, instead of saying, hey, you know what, people don't like this song, it ain't what's up, they take that song and they go and use some playlisting service that can drive them streams and make them a little bit of money. They use some service that say, give us $10 and we'll get you 20,000 streams or whatever. And they're like 20,000 streams, X amount of money, you know, and they go and they pay for that. And they're doing all of this silly stuff because nobody really likes the music, so they can't blow up organically. So now they turn to all of these sinister things that really have a negative impact on the industry overall by taking money out of your mouth as like a creative that's making music that people actually want to listen to. So it's like something has to be done about that type of behavior. And, you know, we don't want to have people who have talent but don't have money to be blocked out. We don't want people who make certain styles of music that aren't like commercially viable for somebody to tell them that they can't do. But at the same time, I mean, something needs to take place. And I mean, even if they implemented some rules and restrictions, you still got SoundCloud, you got YouTube, you got social media where people can expose their content and get it out there to where if everybody's telling them no, it's not like they don't have the ability to expose it. But as far as like digital distribution and stuff like that, I think people got to become a bit more conservative with who they work with for the sake of the industry, man, you know, or everything is just going to go to shit.